Hi everyone, today I want to do a reading on King Charles, the royal family, mainly looking at Charles, Harry, Meghan and Prince William, because I do think there's challenging times coming ahead. And recently, while I did a reading or prediction, I might have mentioned it, is King Charles traveling. So I've just found out that he's in Canada, and this might be a question on my woo-woo reads that I do, because I'm planning on doing another one with just questions and then answers. But on that one is things around aliens, ETs and clones can come up as well. So I wonder if I do ask that question in that edition, if it comes out that it's not King Charles. It's actually been really bothering me in a sense that if he's really ill, the advice should be that he does not travel. And given what I'm going to read on today, I do think that he is not well. I'm not saying that now. Some of you might be like, "Oh, yeah, he's got cancer," but what I mean is, like, if you're in a certain stage of cancer, you shouldn't really travel because of your immunity. I have a relative that was allowed to travel, and when they got back, they never recovered. No antibiotic helped whatever they caught on the flight, and it could have just been a cold because they'd gone through chemo and they had to do radiation when they came back, and they couldn't do the full radiation because there was this bacteria or flu or something in their blood, and they had to do blood transfusion, and the person ended up passing away. And this is someone who is a very close direct relative of mine that I lost. And so for me, it just, when I think of what's coming to me within the months I'm going to mention, I'm surprised that he's traveled. And of course he would have had the best healthcare advice. So is his health going to get worse when he returns? And could it be because of the travel and they made a mistake there? Or could it be that he's okay, but then maybe certain months that I see challenging, he actually pulls through? I'm not sure, but it's bothering me, this thing about him being in Canada. And we'll do a woo-woo read on certain questions. I'm going to include this as well because I also want to read on Elon. Elon acting the way he was in the White House in the Oval when he was announced to his last day. Because obviously some people will be like it's drugs, some people will be like whatever it is. And I want to see what the cards say, and I want to also tell you what I get, like, intuitively or psychically. So with the royals, I had already written about 3 weeks ago. I've got it here, Monday the 5th of May. We did a reading on Harry. So Harry is going to go through an identity crisis. This is going to be several layers, and some of this might be the stripping of titles. I'm not sure if it's going to get there to that stage before Charles gets ill, or is it after? But whatever happens is a stripping of everything he knows, and some of it's everything that he didn't want, but it's what he knows. So he goes through this, he's going to go through this major identity crisis, and he needs to create his own family and stability, which is what he's always wanted to do, right? But now it's like it's actually there. You're totally disconnected. This is you, this is your family, what you've been wanting. And so that kind of hits him. New money could be coming in, but it's not going to be much, of course. The old money and the wealth that he has belonging to the royal family, I'm not saying that he's going to be stripped of titles. I think he should. And when it's going to happen, I don't know when it's going to happen. But I think King Charles is probably a lot more softer than William on this. I really feel that very strongly, and some of you might as well. But what he knows as wealth and money is nothing like what he's going to have to build, right? So that's something else. Will Meghan stick around for that? You know, I feel Meghan uses the children as a sales boost or attraction, especially when the UK, we like to see them. We like to, some of you might be, no, we don't want to see Lilibet and Archie, but in general, we like to see the royal kids. And so it is kind of like when they hide them and then they use them, etc. So I've done I've done a reading on this, and I did an extended read, which is only on members, last year on this. And so could she use them for sympathy? Could she use them for sales and attraction? Remember, disclaimer, this for entertainment purposes only. I also want to say, you know, that recent podcast that she did with what's that lady called, the blonde lady, Lima, where it was just so hard to actually watch, both of them. Lima's a surrogate mother. I'm just putting that out there. I also, you know, in one of my reads prior, I'd seen that there could have been some flirtation in the minimal of what Meghan was going to get up to. So that's something else that I've noted again here. I think you might get some people that, psychics, that might predict seeing in Catherine, maybe based upon, I don't know, synastry, something about a baby or a pregnancy. Now, I did a reading on her well before she got ill, and you know what I think and what's happened since then. I think she's had a scraping, a full removal. I don't think it's the abdomen, the stomach. I think it's further down. So that's that. And I do have a reading on this. I think she's better. She's going to get better. But if she does reside to not getting well again or having a slip, I felt like it wouldn't have been me, but I was one of the anomaly that was saying she's alive, give her the space, stop with all the rumors of everyone saying she's dead and she's hidden, etc. I think we need to be kinder this time on things, okay? So I'm just going to put that out there. Meghan is going to have a real big shift in her values and finances. She needs to try to leave how she can be critical on others in terms of her growth. That's what I was feeling. Like where she feels like there needs to be a perfection image, yet she tries to be down to earth, yet she's very critical of others. And that misfit is not relatable to people, and that's why she's, you know, a lot of people don't like her. She has good opportunities of support from banking, financial institutions, and her partner is going to be a big support of whatever she goes through. But at the same time, her partner, which is Harry, is going to be going through a massive change in himself. So together they are going to be looking at a very challenging period. She needs to know that she worries and really analyzes stuff. I'm just giving you my opinion of like what I believe. And she tries to show she's vulnerable, but she's not actually showing her true vulnerability. She's not showing that true softer side. She's trying to mask it. Someone will help to try and soften her. It could be Harry, but like I said, I'm going to get to Harry because I think he needs to have an advisor which he'll benefit a lot from. I feel like it's in his energy and he needs to take that up. And if he chooses to take on real therapy, because at the moment Harry is doing certain steps of, you know, like vocalizing about emotion and trauma, but he's not accepting his responsibility or accepting things. And that is a big part of healing and getting past stuff. And so until he does that, there's going to be reoccurring kind of attitude and actions from him. I've put here also he needs to feel he can rely on Meghan and the advisor through these challenging times that I'm going to go through. This is all kind of challenging energy. He doesn't have the right positioning in terms of legal matters, but that energy will change. I was going to read on, did his lawyer best keep him informed, but we've gone over that. He needs to really release the old approach to life and attitude. No matter how much he's going on about something, it's not going to work. So he also needs to use his logic so that he can really learn and see things and accept. He may also, during this period I'm going to discuss, he may also feel like he needs more rest time. He could be prone to burnout because of a lot of emotional and changes that are going to be happening. He also needs to change his routine to his physical body to help him during this time. And not, something that was coming through is not pick apart on himself. So I wonder if he's quite critical of the way he looks in secretly at certain times. And he needs to be focused on being present in relationships to see things properly and clearly, because we can see that he's maybe not seeing things in the right eyes. He vents, but, and I'm not sure if he looks at new coping skills for healing, but again, like I said, the acceptance is a big one. In truth, I feel he's quite lonely. I don't know if he recognizes it. I do think at times he really does recognize it. And in the cards last time, I remember how, again, that dynamic of one being the strength for the other, but there was also an essence when I look at their thing of as if like treating him as a child. Charles, I mean, he's fought longer than what a lot of people anticipated, because I think a lot of people have put around 6 month mark. I didn't think that at all. And I think at the moment Charles wants to continue as much as he can until he hands over to William for two reasons. He was waiting for this throne for a while, so he really wants to taste it. But he also feels like William was in deep waters, especially with Catherine's health. And so he didn't feel it was the time, although he wants to give him the time to also. So I'm surprised William is not with him in Canada, and he might be, but from what I know, it's probably him and Camilla, because I think he also wants to give William that time and William to start to get certain stuff. So I do think William's taken on certain responsibilities. So Camilla is likely to outlive Charles, but I'm not sure if she's doing so. I mean, she's well, but in time, if she's going to be doing very well, something with her nervous system, or cognition. I do think that there's a reoccurring issue around Camilla and Charles in their relationship on something. and I feel like it's Camilla, she wants something, but I'm not sure that it's something that Charles sees he can give without causing a massive disruption. And I'm not sure if this could be related to her wanting her boys or her family or something like that. There's something that causes some friction between them, and I don't think she's really looking at how Charles can do this or not do this in a fair matter. I do think William wants to strip the titles. Now, I don't want to say about the outlive of William or Catherine. I'm going to leave it. I don't want to. But there are some warnings and challenges for the royal family. Some of this will come up in the predictions, but I do want to go to what I want to read on after saying that as well. I think what we need to know is, though, although, and I'm thinking to do a reading on Lilibet and Archie, although, you know, Charles was seeing Camilla and stuff during the marriage, back in those times, definitely certain cultures till now, you're asked to marry certain people, and I think Diana was pretty, and Diana could bring the heir and the spare to the throne. Camilla couldn't. So there wasn't even a negotiation about him being with Camilla at that first period of time. And so who takes the hit? Diana, because he is in love with someone else. He doesn't really want to be with Diana, not because of Diana. She doesn't see that, and he's kind of forced to marry whoever it would have been, apart from Camilla, would not have been who he wanted to marry. So that they continue the royal blood, and something else I wanted to get into on actually some queen that would have been half-blood, right? But when you see it that way, it might be easy to understand. I think over this next 18 months, but I give it a 10-month difficult period, Meghan is going to be having challenges, and so is Harry. I think really watch out for August, September time and onwards, and then early January to May next year. So we're looking at 10 months. And I think this is going to be a challenging time for Charles as well. The reason I say that is because there's a heaviness there, and I think it's going to be separation, if not divorce. Okay, we might not hear about it within that 10 months. We might do, but sometimes filings and discussions on this commence, right? He is hit very hard. Now, she is also going through a challenging time. I'm not really sure, you know, maybe the things I said. And the things I said is because what you do is you're so used to either being independent, not asking your partner for advice, and then suddenly things shift in that way. It's not easy for a person all their life. But I just want to, I mean, we pull cards and it's very platonic, their relationship, their marriage. There's a reading I recently did, and I think I put platoon even in the thumbnail, and the thumbnail cover and the subject line. You can go check that, and I always get cards for them, but she's really seriously focused on her stuff, and I think what she tries to do is, before it gets into a massive failure like liquidizing something, she will close or change what she's doing and saying, I'm doing this now, and slowly melt away that old business idea if it's not working. She really analyzes stuff. And although You know, she seems to brush stuff off and like, oh, I'm just flying over here to do something new here, and then I'm going here, and then in my house. She does have periods where she does go into extreme overthinking, and that could cause her obviously to be in possibly depression. She's human, so we all do, right? But I'm just giving you a sense of her energy possibly at times. But she's gonna be going through a difficult period over this next, I want to say 18 months, but absolutely these 10 months are critical. I do think that we could be looking at a separation, if not something else. And I think although she looks like she brushes off the media, she is deeply affected by the media. Now, she's not only got the media focused on her because she's married to Harry, and if people think that that's very wrong, it's because of what she does, how she acts, etc. And it doesn't feel authentic, right? She's trying to say, I'm authentic, I'm vulnerable, I'm a victim, etc. But it's not coming across that way. There's something disingenuous about it, and everyone picks up on it. So there's a misfit there. So she's definitely going to be going through a challenging period during this time. And I do see separation for them. I want to see now, if I ask, has she really been happy in the marriage? Has he really been happy in the marriage? And then I'm going to get to King Charles, which will also affect what I want to say on Harry and what we're going to say on William and King Charles. So let's just see. Have they really been happy? Has she really been happy? She's been married before, hasn't she? Just 1 second. I just want to check something. So, you know, I get overall these 3 cards, and then I'm going to go to the present. We've got the Page of Wands. So it was something new. It was something exciting. There's something about young, vibrant energy that was felt in the marriage. Then there was obstacles, calamity that was in the marriage overall. 10 of Pentacles is the royalty that she married into not going in the right direction, in the right way that maybe she thought, maybe they thought. This is for the marriage. So that's the overall energy. Presently, she's got the King of Swords reversed. So how is the marriage at the present? It's quite cold. It's not clear. It's quite cold. Here we've got some hidden tactics going on. So maybe a couple of secrets, or they're not so open and vulnerable with each other. There's something that's not all open. I'm not talking like one's cheating, etc. This could be that, you know, you're keeping your feelings to yourself. You're holding back. There's something that's not being clear. And I feel like someone is picking up evidence or pieces so that they don't come into the weaker position of what I'm saying is a separation. Now, 7 of Cups in reverse, okay? In this marriage, presently, she sees things clearly. You know, she might have options on the table. She's not confused about them. She's seeing them clearly. 5 of Pentacles, okay? There's not a lack of money or resources here. She doesn't feel alone. She doesn't feel like out in the cold. She doesn't feel insecurity of lack of money or instability. That's her current energy in the marriage. So to me, is she happy in the marriage? No. And we see that in the cards. Let's check Harry. So some of you might find that surprising, because you might be like, well, I think, you know, even at the beginning they were happy. It doesn't look like they've been a very happy marriage. What has it been, 7 years? Let's look at Harry. It's funny, he lost that court case, and then he was ringing on doorbells in London, wasn't he, without any security, trying to find his mate. I'm gonna have one card to come out. I'm gonna shuffle. I need 2 more for overall energy of Harry in his marriage. Okay. This is what I've got right now. So I'm going to take this one and this one, because if I leave them, they're going to fall. These 2, right? High Priestess and the 6 of Pentacles. Let's continue to the present. Half the deck falls out, which makes me feel like he's felt it very much up and down. And why am I getting not cohesive? Okay, so we've got 5 cards for him. I can't remember if it's 4 for Meghan or 5. So I'll show you them as we go along. Oh, interesting. So we've got the 5 of Wands, okay? Here we've got someone who's felt defeat in the marriage, but he's also not felt there's been many arguments. He doesn't feel there hasn't been many arguments in this marriage, but he does feel like there could have been some kind of defeat that he's had to surrender to in this marriage. I do feel like he's felt the presence of his mother, okay? I do feel like he's had intuitive hits in this marriage. I feel like he also believes that he's been divinely protected, possibly by his mother, but by an energy. A lack of balance of give and take he's felt in this marriage. This could be resources, this could be money, but he has felt like there's not been an equal give and take in the marriage. I mean, for overall cards for both of these, if you look, there's no love, there's no Ace of Cups, there's no Lovers, there's no nothing that I could try to even read in terms of love. Present energy, 6 of Wands. He feels like she's recognized him finally somewhere. Maybe she said, Harry's great, Harry something. He feels like she has finally recognized him, give him some recognition. He's won something where she's recognized him, like either he's won her over on something presently, okay? Hermit, him in reverse, but he doesn't feel balanced, you know, because he's a Virgo. He doesn't feel like he's got his alone. He doesn't feel in himself at this moment in time. There seems to be a lack of love, okay? There seems to be a lack of love. Trying to be patient, trying to surrender when needed, and yet action, get on with stuff when needed. He does feel left out in cold. He does feel lonely. He does feel that there's been a financial hit. So that's what we get with them. Now I'm going to go on to Harry, particularly. So Meghan is going to be going through a very difficult period. I think August, September, we need to look out for. December, heightened energy again, okay? And then I'd say March, April, May is heightened. So that's why I'm saying from August until, let's say, May time, heightened on-off energy, I feel, at this moment in time. I think Harry is going to go through what I mentioned, along with that, the health of King Charles hitting him, and that could mean that King Charles very, very ill. King Charles, please understand why I'm doing this reading. Maybe he comes to the stage where he cannot stay as king, okay? And we will look at the cards and see what that says. So now it's going to affect him, and I wonder if he also is going to feel immense guilt when he sees this crumbling and that's gone grief, loss, and then immense guilt. There's a very heaviness there that he is going to be affected by. I'm not saying to generate sympathy for him or anything like that. I'm just giving you what there is, right? You know, he's done what he's done, and I'm just saying what could be coming up. And I do think Feb, May time next year is difficult. December's heightened energy, but August and September is up and down for him. There's some real chaos. There's some kind of like shake up he has. It could be an awakening, a crisis, chaos that surrounds him during that time. It's funny because I also do see in June or early August that there could be a travel plan. For him, it could be with the kids. It could be with him and Meghan. And it could be to the UK, which is strange, or it could be a vacation to a beachy place or something like that they plan. We could hear of that, but in terms of other stuff, that's side stuff where we can read on them daily, but I'm looking a bit deeper. So let's just see Harry over the next 10 months. A lot of reversals. Wow. We've got the moon. So something that's been hidden, something that's been not talked about might come forward. All right. He sees something that was very much a challenging decision. He sees it very clearly. Here we've got, I feel like this is unexpected travel that he needs to do. And he's met by cold, bitter, possibly female. Time-wise, management, projects, things in life, two things not going well. The blessing, though, is the family, the royal family, is the royals, is going to be his blessing during this time. So maybe it's if he needs to travel back because of King Charles, that reunion, which I'm not saying they're going to talk to him, is going to help him with whatever he is facing. Okay, let's look at William's cards. Remember, energy can change, so we can do a follow-up reading if something comes to light. William over the next 10 months. So we're talking about August until May. William is going to be obviously going through the grief of his father, but he's going to have to start his new chapter as king, right, when that happens. What is William, a Cancer? It's told to take 2 out for William if one spits out. Yeah. Okay. Difficult to say. Right. So William finds that some things that he, over the 10 months that he had planned to do communication wise, is not going right. It's not going in the right direction. This is more or less inspired communication. There's also a little bit of jealousy here with something that is not moving fast enough. However, he finds his balance within himself, and by retreating to a quiet place, his place, which helps him come back out feeling energized, feeling he's able to give love, you know, come out as Prince William to the public of the people, show love, receive the love back, which we will see. He also feels with these cards that there's no getting through to Harry. There's absolutely no getting through to Harry. It's a waste of time, and he doesn't have good feeling. Let me just check something on that. I want a particular word for that towards Harry. Yeah, there's opposition, that's the word, between him and Harry, and they're not speaking still in this 10 months. There is some fight, there is some disruption, there's some arguments that go on. His blessing is him taking time out, and if needing to travel, but there's heartbreak that seems to be a blessing here for him, and I get the home is his blessing through that heartbreak, through the loss, which is not going to feel like a blessing, is him stepping up into this new chapter. But the home, there's something he does, if it's not what we're saying, something that really hurts him. It could be to do with travel, or it's him stepping up. And we took only one card for Harry, but I'm following Spirit, and I saw this at the bottom of the deck, and it makes sense that it's home. So now I just want to look at King Charles is. Now obviously during this time, it could mean that King Charles has challenges, right? Because like I said, something's not making sense with him being able to and allowed to travel. So let's see. And we'll have to see what it is that William faces that's heartbreak. If not, and we'll do a further read. I think we can do one in August time, or September time. It's December, and then maybe February and March, because they hit kind of points in there. King Charles during this period could be getting a new treatment, so I wonder if we're going to hear about that. There's some, I think he's going to get some new treatment when he comes back from his travel in this 10 months. Is he traveling other places? Can someone tell me? He realizes he's not a victim towards his circumstances. So maybe he's been feeling that. Maybe it's been hard to accept the situation he's in, although he's never shown it. You know, he's just continued, hasn't he? He does see more. He's either handing over to William, okay? In the very least, we will see he is handing over behind the scenes. In the event of this next 12 months, remember, I believe that there's an 18 months challenge period. He's possibly handing over to William here. This is not necessarily a choice, okay? There's a lack of choice, there's a lack of harmony at some stage within this 10 months. He's also having to accept loss. This is his blessing card though, the acceptance of loss. So maybe he gets stuck when something's right in his face, that I don't have the choice. And maybe he's finding it difficult to accept that loss. So with both of them, I think the dad's health is going to be tugging on them. Is what's his name, William, a Sag ascendant, by the way? I know he's a Cancer. I think Meghan's going to be up against who she thinks she's got more power over. Does she hold the power over who she thinks she's going to have the power over in this next 10 months to 18 months? Remember what I said could be happening. And I think it's going to be no. And she's going to take a shock if she tries to think that she's got the power and does it in a malefic or non-disingenuous way or a greed way. But that is a question that I have there. So I've got cards on Charles. He's going to be getting a new treatment plan over this next 10 months. That could be very successful. And it could be a winning ground for him. It's strange because there's a peaceful energy that could also bring about you know, there is this chance that he goes through a good treatment plan that could give him the heads the step up, right? But there's also, when I ask Spirit, there is this possibility that there is a tower moment during this period. So I think we do need to do another reading and see what we get on this. I hope you enjoyed this, and there's an Aquarius energy here of somebody who's really important to him, and it could be in the spirit life. Like I've got the High Priestess here, and it's I think it's this energy that helps him accept. Did I say last time Queen Elizabeth was an Aquarius? So I wonder if that peacefulness comes to him through that. Let's see how it all pans out. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Bye for now.